You ever been scrolling late at night and stumbled upon a video that felt like it was written just for you? It doesn't feel like you're just watching content. It feels like someone is speaking directly into your soul, describing feelings you thought no one else could possibly understand. Today, we're not just going to watch one of those videos. We're going to put it on the operating table, take out our sharpest tools, and we're going to dismantle it piece by piece. We're going to see exactly what makes that engine of influence turn. And later, we're going to expose the one psychological mechanism it uses to create an unbreakable cycle. A hook so powerful, it's the very foundation of addiction itself.
It all starts with a line like this. This sentence, this is the key that unlocks the entire experience. It's not an attack. It's not an accusation. It's the opposite. It's a validation. It's a whisper that says, I see you. It speaks directly to that quiet nagging fear you've had, that maybe the problem is you, that maybe you are too sensitive. By naming this exact feeling, the video forges an instant, powerful bond with you. It earns your trust before the second sentence has even begun.
And that's exactly what we're here to do, to understand the raw mechanics behind the magic. We're using a popular dark psychology script as our subject. We aren't here to argue whether its claims are true or false. We're here to appreciate the sheer, undeniable craftsmanship that goes into making something feel so deeply, personally true to millions of different people at once.
Okay, let's get into the first stage. This is called the empathy trap, and it is, without a doubt, the most critical part of the entire structure, because this is where the narrator earns your trust. But notice how it's done. There are no facts, no data, no credentials. Instead, the narrative performs a clever bypass of your rational mind and goes straight for your heart. It creates an immediate, overwhelming wave of empathy that pulls you into its world before you even realize your guard is down.
So who is the main character in this story? The script calls them the Covert Narcissist. And this is where the genius begins. The script throws out the old stereotype, the loud, arrogant, chest-pounding narcissist we all think we can spot a mile away. And in its place, it gives us something far more insidious, far more compelling. It gives you a figure who is quiet, seemingly wounded, maybe even a little shy. They present themselves as a lamb, and it makes you want to be their shepherd, completely unaware of the wolf hiding just beneath the wool.
And then, to make it all feel real and authoritative, the script gives it a clinical-sounding label, vulnerable narcissism. It defines it as this deep, almost painful need to be admired, but it's hidden behind a mask of constant suffering. In this narrative, their pain isn't just pain, it's a tool. It becomes a kind of currency they use to buy your attention, your sympathy, your care, without ever having to be direct enough to ask for it. Their suffering makes them feel special.
And right here, this is the chilling foundation of the whole thing. The script is built on one simple, powerful assumption about you, that you are a good person. That your natural, default setting is to be kind, to show compassion to someone who seems fragile and hurt. It takes this beautiful, fundamental part of human decency and it reframes it as a weakness, a vulnerability that can be and will be exploited.
So once that emotional foundation is poured and set, the narrator opens up their toolkit. These are specific, repeatable techniques. Rhetorical devices designed to take a script written for 1 million people and make it feel like a private, personal diagnosis of your life and your life alone. Let's break down exactly what those tools are.
The first tool is the all-powerful victim narrative. The script carefully constructs a backstory for this person that is just a relentless catalog of pain. A traumatic childhood, a series of monstrous ex-partners, a toxic, unsupportive workplace, one thing after another. By always positioning this person as the one who has been wronged, the narrative cleverly makes them immune to criticism. It puts you in a moral bind. How can you possibly question them or hold them accountable when they've already suffered so much? To do so would feel cruel. It would make you the bad guy. Has someone ever used their past to make you feel guilty for holding them accountable? Tell me about it in the comments. You're not alone in this.
The next tool is probably the most effective one in the entire arsenal. It's called the mirror effect, and it's incredibly simple. It's the constant, relentless use of the word you. Notice it's never a person might feel or victims often experience. It's you will start to question your memory. You end up doubting your own feelings. This is not an accident. This direct address is a deliberate strategy to pull you out of the role of a passive observer and place you directly in the center of the story. Every line is designed to feel like a reflection, a personal revelation being read back to you.
And the imagery used in these videos reinforces this feeling perfectly. You'll see the visual of the hidden threat, the wolf in sheep's clothing, confirming your suspicion that things aren't what they seem. And then it's paired with something like this, a single perfect rose in a vast empty theater. It's a symbol of curated loneliness. It tells you that you're special, but also that you're alone. The unspoken message is powerful. The world out there is dangerous and blind. No one else gets it. But in here, with me, the narrator, you are finally understood. We're just getting to the core of the manipulation. And what's coming next, the unbreakable cycle, is the part that explains why it's so hard to walk away. Don't go anywhere.
And this quote, "This is the end game. This is the goal of all these techniques combined." It's that terrifying, disorienting moment where your trust in the narrator's voice becomes stronger than your trust in your own gut, your own heart, your own mind. The script isn't just telling you a story about manipulation, it's actively working to reshape your perception of your own reality, making you doubt the very validity of your feelings.
And that brings us to the script's grand centerpiece, its dramatic core. After setting the stage and identifying the characters, it introduces a devastatingly effective psychological engine, a loop that it claims is so powerful it can keep you hooked for months, for years, even a lifetime. This is where the script reveals the secret to its seemingly unbreakable hold.
The cycle always begins with idealization. The script describes this as a phase of intense, focused, almost blinding attention. You are put on a pedestal. You're told you're different, special, unlike anyone they've ever met. They mirror your hopes, your dreams, your insecurities. It's an intoxicating feeling, like standing under a warm spotlight that's just for you. You feel uniquely and completely seen.
But then, the spotlight starts to flicker. The intense warmth is slowly, subtly replaced with a chilling distance. This is the devaluation phase. It starts small, a backhanded compliment, a joke at your expense, plans that get canceled at the last minute. The image of perfection they built for you begins to crack and crumble, and it leaves you in a state of frantic confusion, asking yourself one question over and over: what did I do wrong?
And this is the trap, laid bare. That sudden, jarring shift from the high of idealization to the low of devaluation creates a powerful psychological addiction. You become desperate to get back to the way things were at the beginning. You start working harder, trying to please them just to feel that warmth again. The script gives this a name from behavioral psychology: intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines so addictive. It's not the constant winning that hooks you, it's the unpredictability of the win. And in the relationship, just a small glimpse of that old warmth, a brief return to the idealization, is all it takes to reinforce the cycle and keep you trapped, always hoping for the next reward. Which part of this cycle feels the most familiar to you? The high of being put on a pedestal, or the confusion when it's all taken away? Let us know below. Reading other people's experiences can be incredibly validating.
Now, after painting this bleak, intense picture of an inescapable trap, the script does something brilliant. It doesn't leave you in despair. It doesn't leave you feeling hopeless. It makes a sharp, deliberate pivot. It shifts the entire tone of the video from diagnosing a problem to offering you a clear, step-by-step plan for your escape. And this is the secret to the video's incredible appeal. It creates a deep, personal, and painful problem, but then it provides an equally powerful and empowering solution. It gives you a complete narrative arc. It guides you from the darkness of the trap into the light of freedom. It shows you the chains, and then it hands you the key to break them. And the solutions it offers are not vague platitudes. They are concrete, tactical strategies. The script gives you a real toolkit. Things like validate your own reality, which means trusting your gut and maybe even keeping a journal to track events. It introduces the gray rock method, where you make yourself as boring and unresponsive as a gray rock to starve the manipulator of the reaction they crave. Every single step is designed to do one thing: take the power from them and put it back in your hands. So in the end, the reason this structure is so powerful, so satisfying, is because it's a perfect story. It gives you a clear villain, the covert narcissist. It explains their secret weapons, the empathy trap and the idealized devalue loop. It details the damage they cause. And then, most importantly, it casts you, the viewer, as the hero, and it equips you with everything you need to win the fight. If breaking down these hidden dynamics is something you need more of, that's what we do here every single week. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the patterns we uncover next.
Because what this all comes down to, really, is a deep and fundamental human need. We are all searching for connection. We all have a deep-seated desire to feel seen, to feel heard, and, above all, to feel understood. And what these videos do so well is tap directly into that powerful need.
For someone lost in a fog of confusion and self-doubt, the promise of clarity and validation is almost irresistible.
And that's the question I want to leave you with. When you find a piece of content online that seems to know you better than you know yourself, that articulates your private struggles perfectly, what is it you're really connecting with? Is it a moment of genuine human insight from someone who has been where you are? Or is it a perfectly crafted algorithm? A script so finely tuned, so masterfully written, that it's designed to feel personal to absolutely everyone. That's something worth thinking about.